All right, so we can start. My name is Petr Chalupa. I do weird stuff like this. Don't be scared. I'm not going to steal your environment variables. um, I'm front-end engineer at STRV, and today I'm going to infect you with some ideas of local first and generally how to make web apps better and maybe all the software. Just for the context, at STR we build many products per year. We are basically agency. And 9 of 10 cases, we are doing the classical three-layered architecture. So we have front-end, back-end, and some kind of persistence. And recently I had a conversation with one of our backend engineers, and we were just discussing the API for a new feature. It was a leaderboard, so I needed some aggregation and filtering and pagination. And later in the discussion, I just came to conclusion that I wish I had a database on the client. It would be so nice, but first, why? Well, databases are usually good at the things that I needed. They can filter, they can aggregate, they can whatever, because they are built for this kind of purposes. So why not have them on the client? And then since that, I'm basically falling through this rabbit hole called local first. Yeah, but it might be misleading. Local first is not only about having data locally. Actually, there is a set of principles that each local first app should adhere. So let's look at them. I'm going to just paraphrase what Martin Kleppmann said on the conference, Local First conference this year. It's 3 main stages. And the first one, if the software works only local, then it's not local first. Local first has to have some kind of collaboration aspect, and you need to some kind of communication like syncing and so on. When the software doesn't work offline, it's not local first. It has to work offline. The network is only optional. And this might be controversial, but software should even work if the company runs out of business. And yeah, so there has to be some kind of robustness against the business network. And just pause for a while. Have you heard about the blue sky? Could you just raise your hand? Great. And did you heard about AD protocol? Oh, 2, 3, great. Great. So basically, this year, I heard Dan Abramov asking this question. What's going to happen if the product dies? What's going to happen with your data if product dies? If you put a lot of effort into making something, if you make code, documents, spreadsheets, in-game progress, even this presentation, you don't want to lose it. So what's going to happen? Well, mostly it will end up in some digital void, and that sucks, obviously. So what Blue Sky and their AD protocol do, they allows you to self-host your data, and also you can build apps on the AD protocol. Right, so let's get back to local first. Blue Sky is not local first, it's social side, but still this aspect clearly says that data ownership should be on the user, not on the company. All right, this is kind of technical because when you have local first, you want to have some kind of syncing and so on. And because all of this reason, it's basically a distributed system. So you have to solve distributed system problems. And first of them is replication. Basically, your data is source of truth, your local data. You want to replicate them to remote server, to other clients, or your phone, notebook, whatever. So there has to be some kind of replication. But with replication, we are getting into another problem called consistency. Because you want to have the same data over all devices. There are some models how to solve it, but we don't get to it today. And with consistency, we are getting too clock. It might be weird, but you need to some reliable way how to set this event happened before this event. Otherwise, you can end up in different states and it won't work basically. So this, and we are going to look at another interesting technology which makes local first working. And yeah, conflict resolution. We all know that solving conflicts on Git is really pain. We learn it by hard way. And there is the technology CRDT, all conflict-free replicated data types. And those are basic types, but they also contain some logic how to solve the conflict. There are a set of algorithms that you can use, but just to give you an example, last right wins is very easy. Basically, the last update with the latest timestamp is the correct one. Yeah, so today we heard about local first. It might be another way how to build an apps, another option. Basically, we are moving from server-centric to client-centric apps. When the source of the truth can be on the client, and even you can have some kind of backup on a remote server. Just to give you some kind of resources where you can start learning about local first, this is a great list. The first one is the OG essay in the local first. It might be like 5 years old. But the second one is actually recording from the local first meetup this year, and it's updated version of the first one. The web after tomorrow is a nice blog post about how the web should look like tomorrow, the next web. And last one is a great podcast series about local first, mainly about the products, but some kind also about tooling. Yeah, and just to put a little bit pressure on me, I'm working on this library, and it's also my bachelor thesis, and it will be released in a year. It has to be. So there will be some kind of MVP. It's public on a GitHub, so you can sneak peek. And that's it for today. Thank you.